Most are afraid of me. They ask, why? Why are you doing this? I don't speak. I never spoke. I only stare, watch, wait, and bring ungrateful ones to their own demise. Few see me. Few like me. Many believe I am the reckoning of your sanity, that I am thought up through your minds. I don't speak. I listen. What do I hear? Nothing. Just jabber of your politics and economies, but nothing is done over the horrors that happen every day. You murder each other, steal from each other, and break oaths with each other. But when you see me, you are shocked, as if you didn't see fate coming for you. I am your fate. You run and scream when you see me. Your eyes lie to you, and your mind can't make sense of me. What am I? No one asked. Only false stories of my beginnings tell you who you want me to be. I will shed your lies and tell the truth. I was a young boy. Jack, that was my name. I grew up in West Virginia. I was a lonely boy. I longed to have friends to play with and talk to, but my small town consisted of adults. We all got along and everything was at peace. Our contact with outsiders was rare, since we lived in a heavily wooded area. Our routine was simple. We chopped down the trees and burned them every night, and ate rabbits and chickens. After doing this random event every night, I finally asked my birth mother why we killed other living things. She said, it's for our own survival, so that we could live. After hearing her explanation, I stopped eating and stopped hurting living things. I only drank water from the well once a day. I saw it that water was the only thing that could not be hurt and that lived forever, no matter how much you used it. It was eternal. After 5 whole days without eating anything, I became sick, and my mother started crying. She tried to spoon-feed me chicken soup in bed, but I spat it out in front of her. I felt weak, so weak, but I conjured up words to tell her, if it was once living, it was not meant to be killed. She sobbed and gave up spilling soup on our wooden floor. She ran away, holding her hands into her eyes. Our town doctor comforted her as they closed the door onto my room. I didn't want this. I loved my mother, even though she lacked the mindset to see why we can't kill innocent living things. I still loved her. On the 6th day, I lost all colour in my body and became very pale, sick creature. I knew that this was the day I would die. Clouds were hovering above our town, and no sound was coming from outside my room. I stared at my ceiling and prayed to my God. He was the only comfort I had left. I thought to myself that everything will be soon okay, that I would become an angel of light and live in harmony once again. I swore to God to protect my mother and the rest of our townfolk, for they hadn't done anything wrong. They were misguided souls with the wrong agenda. Unfortunately, my life on Earth would not be undone so soon. Out of complete silence, I heard the crackle of gunpowder shooting into the air. I gathered myself to look out the window through the fog, and saw a rain of bandits, men burning down our town, killing our people. My body began to shake after staring at this horror. For the first time in my life, I cried. I let my tears fall onto the floor, but through my sadness grew a new emotion, an emotion that was unknown to my town. Anger. With the remaining strength in my 11-year-old body, I got out of what would be my deathbed and stumbled out of the room. I opened my father's drawer, where his pistol was. I grabbed the weapon and moved slowly out of my house. I creaked open the door to see these villains were still shooting and killing. It was downpour outside. Lightning streaked across the sky. My hands trembled as I raised the revolver towards those mongrels. One of the women who was kneeling at gunpoint caught my eye. It was my mother. "Jack!" she shouted. The rifle's bullet penetrated her skull, killing her instantly. That was the thing that triggered pure rage. I aimed the weapon directly at her killer's face. I fired before he could turn. Crimson fluid exploded from the hole in his eye. This caught the other bandits' attention. There were 4 of them. They aimed their rifles and shotguns at me, but my newfound skill for killing someone somehow outmatched them. My hand almost latched onto each of these men, as if it was my deceased father who had been aiming for me. I walked to the middle of the mucky, flooded ground and knelt. I was the last one left, the only one that didn't die. The sick boy who once believed that killing was wrong. I drew the 6th shot under my jaw and pulled the trigger. It jammed. Why? Fate. Behind me, the hand of a female woman touched my face with her soft hands. It almost felt like my mother's hands. I turned to look when I couldn't believe my eyes. She was tall and seemed to carry no face. Bull-like horns protruded from her forehead. She wore no clothes, but she wasn't nude. She was a complete blank canvas. I began to cry at her magnificence. To me, she was perfect. Nothing was wrong with her. With my trembling voice, I asked her, "Can you make me like you?" She tilted her head slowly and pointed back to my house. She walked past me as she gently touched my face once again, and she disappeared into the forest. I felt no need for questions nor emotions. I knew my path. I walked into my house. I looked around and finally set myself onto my past father's bed. I glanced across his old dresser. I opened it. I pulled out a long, thin suit, fit for a slender man.